Hello, video gamers. This is Coach Scott. Today I'm bringing you a Fortnite challenge video. Now, what's the challenge, you may ask? The idea is that I will not use any weapons, any items, any equipment above green quality. So you could say I'm the Hulk in a way. You won't like me when I'm angry. I'm doing the green mile, etc., etc. The reason I'm doing this challenge is to prove that you can win a game no matter what your gear is. It's not the weapon that you have equipped, it's how you use it, which is very much true in Fortnite as it is in real life. The reason I've chosen to do green weapons mostly is based around the healing. So medkits are green items, small shields are green items, and if I didn't allow myself to use those, I would be running around with 75 health for the entirety of the game, which means I could die to a random hunting rifle shot at any moment. So I did not want boring games where I'd have to hide and play safe. I wanted action. I wanted to play completely normal and use the other skills I had available to me. So what other skills are there in Fortnite? Well, the most obvious one is building. If you're a better builder, you'll win more games. Even if you have a great pistol and he has 14 purple shotguns, if you have the high ground and you've built above him, you'll be in a good position to win that fight. Now, maybe in that example that's not exactly possible, but building is a hugely important skill. Other ones, positioning, timing, knowing when to push, when not to push, knowing when you're being pinched and need to get out of a position, as well as some of the more rudimentary skills such as throwing grenades where you want them to go, or aiming with shotguns and ARs. Now, so far in this footage, all you've seen is me using my aim to kill players who had worse aim than me. They probably had the same quality guns as me, granted, but if they had better guns, would they have been in a better position? Probably not. I was landing my shots and they weren't because I've practiced that. It's not the equipment that I have that's giving me an advantage here. A whole lot of people overvalue a weapon upgrade in Fortnite. If you left a blue assault rifle 30 seconds away and you are holding a green one, you can bet that most people will make the trek backwards to find it. But in my opinion, there's very little difference in the quality of weapons. I'm not saying that you should ignore a purple scar on the ground if you're holding a great burst rifle, but don't discount the weapon that you're holding. A green pump shotgun can kill someone in one shot, all the same as a blue pump shotgun can kill a person in one shot. The damage difference between a green assault rifle and a blue one is about 2 damage, and the accuracy stat isn't too important when the first bullet accuracy exists in the game. No, you shouldn't put yourself in a compromising position to pick up a blue burst rifle when you already have a green assault rifle. It's much more important for you to pick up items that can give you health or to just pick up materials. I actually found this challenge to be quite easy to complete. The slight damage sacrifice I had to make was alright because I was unlimited in my building capabilities. I frequently took advantage of being able to take high ground on my opponents and take shots while they couldn't. I used the tricks I've learned such as crouch peeking and trying to destroy their structures when they push up to me to give me an advantage where I was already disadvantaged. I actually felt quite happy doing this challenge because it made my inventory decisions really easy. I wouldn't ask myself, do I want another blue shotgun or do I want impulse grenades? I would just take the green SMG and be happy. Yes, I can say with certainty that this challenge has made me a better person. No longer will I be greedily searching for the best equipment I can find. I will be happy with what I have found. This video was still a challenge for me to put together though, but that was mainly because I was limiting myself in terms of snipers and explosives. I could only use a hunting rifle, no scope sniper. I couldn't use a scoped AR, which I enjoy at long ranges. No rockets, no grenade launchers, no C4, boogie bombs, full shields, launch pads, or my personal favorite item, the minigun. Despite all that, I managed to get quite a few kills before ultimately dying because I forgot to put a wall up behind me. Because I had to leave several full shield potions behind, I was able to be killed by one single sniper bullet to the body. After practicing my strategy for a few more games, I decided to land somewhere that I would consider to be a green quality landing location, Anarchy Acres. There's an alright amount of loot, an alright amount of people to kill, and an alright distance from the center of the map. I landed on my favorite spot, the stables. One thing I haven't talked about yet in this video is where and how to land. You'll notice as I land, I'm checking through the roof to see if a chest has spawned in this location. If one hasn't, I can quickly move to the other side of the stables, where another chest spawn is located. My favorite landing spots usually have multiple chests that I can see from my glider. This way I can always land on a chest if there is one. Luckily, I found a chest right away and pick up the gray loot before moving through the stables to pick up the remaining loot. By dropping here, I'm unlikely to get into an engagement before I have a weapon to defend myself with, giving me the best chance at surviving the early game. Before I even run into anyone, I'm thinking about my plan of action. Where could players be? If there are players where I think they are, am I going to die in my position? If I run straight from stables to the barn, am I going to get shot by someone who dropped at the big house and started running south? Try to always be asking yourself these questions and whatever else you can think of. You never want to be put in a position where you don't have an escape plan. In the early game, you likely will not have very many materials, so you have to use things like buildings as cover. Also notice other things in the environment such as bouncy tires that could help you escape. Another way that you can give yourself an advantage in the early game is to try and farm as many materials as you can from things indoors. Cabinets inside of houses give a lot of wood, and you can find pallets or fences, which will give you a huge material advantage on the other players in the early game. Whenever I drop in a location where there aren't too many chests, I think about where people would land out of the bus. In Anarchy Acres, people only really land in 4 or 5 spots. By the stables, in the barn, in the big house, or in one of the smaller barns that may only have 1 chest. After I kill 2 people by the big barn, the next location I'm looking for players in is the big house. On my way there, I find someone. You should always expect for someone to have dropped on every location, so when I'm walking towards the big house, I'm ready for someone to appear at any moment. I'm also being aware of the terrain around me. I do not have as many materials as I would like, so I'm using the roof of the little barn to give myself high ground advantage as well as cover. Because I didn't use many of my materials when I didn't have to, I now have a surplus when I engage in this last fight. I build myself a base and prepare to fight for an extended time, confident that I have more materials than him. The other player has less wood and is forced to stay on the low ground and slowly die to me. Even though the player had better gear than me and more health, I won because I played the situation slowly and methodically. Sometimes you just get lucky. On my way to the mid game, I spot a player looking at me but not shooting. One important skill you need to know in Fortnite is to always be scanning your horizons for players just like this one. Because I was scanning, he wasn't able to line up a headshot on me and take me out. As I move forward into the mid game, I take a solid position on the high ground southeast of Loot Lake. Even though players like to create their own high ground, it is important in Fortnite to take high ground positions like these. You have vision for long distances, you can see players trying to push up to you. If they try to build up to you, you can shoot out their fortifications, but they can't shoot down your mountain. Because I get this strong position, I'm able to get a couple of kills, pushing me to the late game. You can see how I push down off of the high ground to secure the second kill. This is an important skill to know as well. You can't simply shoot at the enemy forever, hoping that he peeks his head up long enough for you to shoot it off. You need to do small bits of damage and then try to push him while he heals. If you can get close to him while he hasn't had time to use his medkit, then it will be very easy for you to pull out your close range weapon and blast him. The next position I push to in this game is to some more high ground to the east of Shifty Shafts. I see a player trying to push up to me from a mile away and let him get close enough for me to land a couple of shots on him before he can expect it. He thought he caught me off guard by pushing up, but the high ground gave me the sight lines I needed to spot him out. One thing that I did not catch here, but I find to be a really helpful skill in Fortnite, is to try and locate every enemy in the game towards the end. There are 4 people alive after this kill, and once I get over to the circle there are only 3 people left, and I know both of their exact locations. I know where I have to watch and build in order to stay alive. If you don't pay attention and keep track of your opponents, then you can be caught off guard by them, so try to remember their positions. At this point in the game, I get overconfident and make a poor decision. I am safe from both my opponents by sitting back and waiting, but I like to get eliminations. So I decide to push my closest opponent and try and get a 10-kill game. Notice that I'm building walls to my right because I know that the other enemy left alive is to that direction, and I do not want to be sniped. The enemy to my right is also in a really strong high ground position inside the circle, so he is my biggest threat. I push up to the closer enemy and he is getting pummeled by rockets, which leaves me open to try and hit him with a shotgun while he is distracted. After a short little battle, I end up missing the kill and realize how dumb of a decision I have made. I am very far away from my opponent and much lower down than him. I am starting to lose health and I have no way of healing anymore. I start to believe that this decision has cost me the game. I try to play it cool and regain some of my high ground by building my base upwards, but he continues to spam and shoot his rockets at me and crush me down. At this point, one single rocket hitting me will mean that I die. I need to build as fast as possible so that no rocket can sneak through my structures and explode me. If I'm off the ground, he won't be able to land splash damage onto me, so that's the only thing I have going for me. I realize that my only option here is to land an amazing shot with my hunting rifle and then follow up with my assault rifle. But that would require him to make a big mistake. A big mistake like sitting still with your head peeking out of your structure. And with that, the challenge is complete. See for yourself if you can win a game with only green or worse quality items. Leave a comment if you have other challenge video ideas and subscribe to see when I complete them. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck out there, video gamers.